The Atlantic wrote about how people in different age groups feel about their financial security. And there's a really interesting curve in age and how you feel about your finances. So believe it or not, if you are in your 20s, you are more likely than people in their 30s and 40s to feel really, really optimistic about your financial future. When you're in your 30s and 40s, not so much. You are actually in complete panic about your finances. And then after that, you start feeling really good about finances. So I thought this was really interesting because 20-somethings are actually the least financially stable. They're earning very little. They're usually straddled with a lot of student loan debt, but nonetheless, they're really optimistic and they feel really good. Now, according to the studies, while those under 25 felt confident about their financial future and potential earnings, 30 and 40-somethings were less confident, saddled with the burdens of debt. And for some children who are expensive, after 55, their confidence ticks up again. Now, one of the researchers that looked into this said the following: what we saw in our data is that people in their 20s feel like they have a better grasp on their finances than they do, and it's because of an enormous financial literacy problem. So even though they're not making a lot of money, they think they're going to make a lot of money. So they have no problem spending. They're not really considering the ramifications of that. When you're in your 30s and 40s, you first of all realize that you're probably not going to be rich. Right? Like, life isn't going to be as great as you thought it was going to be. And then you have to take care of your kids and stuff.
I love Americans. Every American in their 20s is convinced that they're going to be millionaires.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And so they're like, what do I need to save for, man? I'm going to be rich, dog. It's all going to be okay. But there's something nice about that overconfidence. I know it's ironic to say that, but so let them enjoy their 20s.
Yeah. So I teach at CSUN, and whenever I walk through the campus and I see all these, young students or whatever, I get really envious because I think about where I was mentally when I was a student. First of all, when you're in school, like, you have your whole life ahead of you, and you think you're going to do such great things when you graduate. And you probably will if you're really, really hardworking and you're persistent and all of that, right? But you also have like these ambitions that are so unrealistic. And then like reality slaps you in the face and you become a little jaded, right? So I miss like the non-jaded Anna who was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a freaking billionaire by 25, bitches. That didn't happen. But still, life turned out pretty good.
I hear you on that because the worst part of adulthood is the bills and the pressure of having to deliver, to make sure that you can pay the rent and all that stuff and provide, right? So when you were a kid, you were like, you didn't know any, you didn't have that pressure. You're like, hey, everybody, come on, let's have fun. And that was great, man. There's something wonderful about that. So that's okay. Be stupid in your 20s. Have fun. You'll make up for it later with a bucket full of pain in the 30s and 40s. And then you realize in the 50s, what was I panicking over? It turns out I don't need to be a millionaire. I'm okay.
No, that's true. Okay, so I'm glad that you touched on that because you start realizing as you get older that being tremendously wealthy, first of all, you want to be financially stable. So let's just get that out of the way, right?
No
but aside from that, like being happy with what you do, having a family that you love, having friends that you enjoy, all the little things in life mean way more than being a millionaire or a billionaire. I mean, at least to me, like I realize that, and that's a good feeling, right? And then also you gain a certain kind of confidence, I think, when you're near 30 that you don't have when you're in your 20s, at least as a woman. Like you're kind of insecure about a lot of other things in your 20s, whereas as you get closer to 30, like you feel a lot better about yourself.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Like, so me, in terms of my confidence with women, at around, at 28, I was on top of the world. That's when I was, whereas at 18, I was a nervous wreck, right? But at 28, I was like, step aside, Butch. I got this. So, different times in your life give you different good results. So enjoy the good parts. Oh, public service announcement. Okay, enjoy the good parts of the different eras and don't stress out too much about the bad parts. Don't worry, when you get to 55, you realize everything's going to be okay.